Welcome to your source for comic book news and culture.
This is Variant Edition.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nick, and this week we got another episode chock full of reviews.
What kind of reviews, though?
Good reviews.
Not like last week.
Like all those other weeks when we were saying, oh, we got a good show for you, we got good reviews. No, I actually think this episode has really good reviews, because some of the things I know that I'm reviewing were really good comics that kind of blew me away from what they were going with their stories.
And I read some good stuff, and I read some crap. So, you know it's going to be a good time for me.
Yeah, and people on the forums say we're, like, real or something.
That's because we don't rehearse the reviews, we just kind of do it. Yeah. And Kevin kind of pieces it together. A little bit of the background knowledge there. They're not scripted. The reviews are strictly whatever we decided to put into it that particular week. And if I hate something, I'm going to let you know.
And this is what happens when we're not scripted. We start going on.
We ramble.
So, yeah, enough with this. Fun. Enough with this. Now, you only got one thing to do. You know what that is?
You got to prepare yourself for a full dose of comic culture.
Alright guys, issue 99 of Daredevil. This is right before the milestone 100th issue of Brubaker's already great and stunning run, even though he's only been on for, I think, only barely 8 issues. We see that the new villain behind Matt's recent troubles is revealed. I think it's a lot of you old school Marvel guys who know your Daredevil history, you might know who this is. I'm not too familiar with the character, I'm going to have to do my research. But if you know Daredevil, you might know who this guy is. Matt and Mila's relationship takes a turn for the worst as something just unbelievably bad happens in like the last panel right before the end of the issue. This book is just nonstop derailing, and it's just like there's no like slow moment. I can't emphasize enough the artwork and the writing combination go together in this book like, I don't know, white on rice, best analogy I can think of. But other than that, this book is going so great. I can't wait to see where it goes after this, because Matt, his life is just falling apart little by little, gets back together, falling apart. And it's just like, you can't give the guy a break. If you're not reading Daredevil, read it now. You can forget about Bendis' run. This run is just as important, if not more important. So, again, Daredevil 99, big issue, big plot twist. Read it and jump on after 100. I beg you.
Fear Agent The Last Goodbye, issue number 2. Oh my god. Great improvement from issue number 1. I kind of gave that a bit of a lame review, just for the fact that it was kind of like a recap of a story that we've already known, but holy shit, the things that they pull off in issue 2 are amazing. It is... I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm going to have to, because here's the review. So anyway, we all know how it is. Heath is in Texas, because this is pre-Fear Agent, because it's like a prequel story, and, at the end of issue 1, giant lizards with jetpacks come to town and start eating everybody. Where are they from? I don't know. All we know is, we gotta get the hell away from these things. So it goes on like that. It's a really, really good story. The best way that I can describe it is, it's kind of like, it's your standard zombie story, where, oh, this quiet town in, ABC USA, or whatever the hell you want to call it, is overrun by these creatures that eat people, and now all the townsfolk are kind of banded together to beat these things. Except it's not so humdrum and like, oh, shoot them in the head, they move like this, zombies don't run, blah, blah, blah. No, replace zombies with giant lizards and jetpacks that eat people, and some robots that can't be destroyed by bombs. It is amazing. It's not just, oh, there's some roamers there, and there's a zombie eating somebody, oh, it's my wife, oh, I can't go on. No, it's like, we gotta go from here to here, oh wait, we can't, because there's a giant 20-foot robot that ain't taking shit from anybody right over there. Such a good issue. I can't wait for issue 3, because all it ends with is a nice, like, balls in your hand kind of thing, like, we gotta go back and give them 1-4. It is so good. I'm so hyped for issue 3, and issue 2 is such a good issue, even just on its own. Definitely, if you haven't picked up Fear Agent Last Goodbye number 1, pick that up with issue 2. It is such a nice story, and I am so eagerly waiting for issue number 3. Great work, guys, and Tony Moore, so glad to have you back.
So welcome to our mini discussion. This is Hulkarama 102.
Yes, your second installment of what's going on in the world of World War Hulk and all the crossover titles and just all this anarchy. We try to make it some sense out for you so you can digest it well.
So it's big, it's green, and it's taking over New York City. And no, I'm not talking about the Jolly Green Giant. Nope.
No, we're talking about the Hulk. Issues that came out, World War Hulk 3, Frontline number 3, and Incredible Hulk 109, a tie-in issue. Basically, like we said before, these are all timingly well. They're all in sync together. So what's ever happening in World War Hulk is going to happen either a little bit before or after Incredible Hulk, and in Frontline, you got the outside aspect looking, in from Sally Floyd and Ben Ulrich's position.
I call that the human aspect.
Yeah, there you go.
Because what they are, they're two reporters, and they're reporting. They do what they do best. They're reporting. It's what they do best. And they're running around the city, and they're wearing helmets, and they're trying to get to dangerous areas where they're not supposed to be. Why? Because they like to report things like that. And they're getting paid to do it, so why not? If they make it through, maybe they'll get a scoop. Yeah. Daily Bugle is pissed off at them, thinks there's some kind of plan to take over. Jameson is throwing a hissy fit. More importantly, the little robot who was killed.
Oh, yes. That's like a little mini story that's going on. If you're reading Frontline, there's like 3 separate stories. There's the main embedded story, then there's the murder mystery that's going on, and then like this weird little side tale that features Tony Stark. Those like last stories are really, really weird, but the center story, it was Sally Floyd and Ben Ulrich, is really good because that's them. They started their own newspaper called The Pulse, and they're just trying to follow all the destruction that's going on with World War Hulk and putting their lives on the line just to get the scoop of the century. And I think it's a really good read, and a great art, great writing. And I think it's one of the more key books to the whole World War Hulk ordeal.
Meanwhile, what happens when the champions go toe to toe against the Hulk? They lose. Kind of.
Lose big time.
Because you've got Angel on your side. Angel versus Hulk. Nope. Angel doesn't make it.
It's like fly swatting.
He doesn't get killed or anything. There's shrapnel, adamantium shrapnel bombs coming down, and Amadeus Cho, the smartest boy in the world, can pick up a piece of shrapnel and whip it at a rocket and make it go off course.
Yeah. Well, he's a mathematical genius. You see the cool art in this book. It have like little pink outlines of what he thinks in his brain. So you see the little mathematical scenarios.
Like pi divided by q if q was x, if x stood for 10.
If I throw a hair follicle at this missile, it'll go that way. So, and it really works out in his favor because, being smart.
And that was a little bit of algebra for you at home.
Yeah.
Right there. Figure that one out.
Pretty good. But the book is really good. You got humans who really want to ally themselves with the Hulk, and the champions who just want to rally with him. But what they don't understand, and what the collective, the Hulk's Brotherhood that he's put together for this all-out attack, is that they're really willing to fight till the death. They're willing to die. They're gonna get ready to die if that need be. I don't think the champions or
they are war-bound.
They're war-bound,
sworn to defend each other till death. Till death, nothing else. Not even chicken pox will stop this group of guys from. These war-bound. They're not gonna give up. They're there. They know they're gonna die. And Korg, yeah. It says, you don't want to be here. You don't want to help us because, well, you don't want to. You won't tell them why, but the reason is, well, we're all going to die at the end of this. We've kind of seen this coming. There's no way in hell we're going to pull this one off. You might want to leave.
Yeah. And Rick Jones's part, I heard it's going to be essential in the book. I've yet to see where it's going to go. Like, Rick Jones is really trying to contact that human part in the Hulk. Bruce Banner, he's trying to bring it out. And the Hulk's really just not having it. He's like, I'm really going to kill you if you don't leave me alone. And Rick is just like, I want to help. I love you. We're buddies. We're not buddies. Enemy, big strong guy. That's it. But, it's all in all.
Human.
Yeah.
Hulk smash,
and
basically.
Then over to World War Hulk 3, the Hulk is obviously taking
our last chance. Tony Stark has failed us, not surprisingly. Xavier, not put back in the wheelchair. Very disappointed about that.
Yeah. Well, we still got one issue left of that miniseries.
Fantastic Four can't even do it. Fantastic Four are done, basically, at this point. And who's left but our friend Dr. Stephen Strange?
Yes.
Who's hiding in a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Or at least what looks like a Starbucks coming soon to a corner near you.
Yes.
No funding or anything from them, but it would be nice if we... Never mind. But yeah, so he's trying to get into the Hulk's inner core, and he's like, I'm gonna... Let me talk to him on a psychic plane of existence that doesn't really exist, and help me, help you. Tell me what's wrong. I see why you're upset. Can't we talk about this? Come, Bruce, take my hand. Oh, you just broke my hands. I can't do this anymore. I'm useless. But I've got this stuff.
Yeah.
Run away, Wong. I'm gonna drink it. Yeah. It's basically what happens.
Yeah, it's just this weird evil potion he conjures up. This is like pretty much the big fail-safe plan that Doctor Strange had planned out, where he looks like he assumes the mantle of this weird demon. I forget the name. It looks like, if you know your Doctor Strange history, you might know who this guy is. It's this weird, I guess, alter ego side of Doctor Strange, where he becomes omnipotent and really evil, and he has no control over his powers.
Omnipotent?
Yeah.
Is that anything like omnipotent?
Omnipotent? I don't know.
Yes, godlike powers. Anyway,
there you go.
he holds the jar with his busted fingers, and he drinks it. And then when you see him again, he doesn't have hands. He's got these metal spike things, and he's just like, it's over now. Did you get your tickets to the gun show? Oh, that's what he does. He basically shows up at this arena. Yeah, Hulk's building an arena, by the way.
Yeah,
Hulk is
really
building
good.
an arena, and all of the champions of the world are going to fight to the death.
Yes, it's a big symbolic metaphor. The Hulk had to fight for his life on the planet, and it got bombed, and he lost everything, so he's going to make everybody fight for their planet. And whether they have to, take the lives of their friends and families, that's just kind of how it's going to be. Because
basically,
what the Hulk had to do.
remember the Red King, the Red Emperor guy back on the planet? Yeah, the Hulk is taking that spot here on Earth, basically. It's either I'm going to conquer their world, or you guys are actually going to defeat me.
Yeah.
And if history repeats itself, they might actually defeat him, because now we've got the gun show coming to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot to be said about Hulk right now.
Yeah, that's basically the gist of it. There's still that fail-safe plan that they got going on that hasn't been launched yet. We'll see if that actually goes through. I doubt it. It'll probably be like dismantled right before
Yeah. The Sentry. What's he doing?
Oh yeah.
He's at home,
watching TV,
listening to the radio,
having a couple brews.
Our golden warrior, man who has the power of 1,000 exploding suns. What's he doing? Listening to the radio. Only you can save us! But you'd rather sit on a couch. You are a real piece of work, sir.
Well, he's a schizophrenic. He has no idea what to do.
Well, he's also agoraphobic. Doesn't want to leave the house right now.
That's true. Very true.
And that's not good. Unless, I don't know, a Skrull Empire Kree war is taking place in your living room. It's not going to help you much.
Yeah.
Sentry's pretty useless at this point, and he's just hanging out at home. And the president almost talks to him, and then he goes off script. Ha ha! Mess that one up. Way to go, sir.
Yeah. So that's just about the gist of it for Hulkarama.
That's everything that's going on right now. If we missed anything, we're sorry.
Yeah.
But some things are, the gun show was important to mention, and the Sentry being agoraphobic is even better. Pick up the comics. The arc is going well. The story is great. They all tie in very nicely. I got no complaints about the story thus far.
Can't wait for the end.
Can't wait for the end. Pick it up.
See you there.
Hey everybody, we got a special treat for you this week. We got an advanced preview of Atomic Robo. It's written by Brian Clevenger, art by Scott Wegener, and colors by Rhonda Pattison. Great book. We have been looking forward to this since the first time we saw concepts of Robo in Scott's sketchbooks, and the book doesn't disappoint. It's a great little setup of a story. Atomic Robo is essentially this robot built by Nikola Tesla that has, automatic life. So it pretty much, thinks and acts like people, but it's a robot. And this robot wears clothes, 'cause he's got class. Scott probably had that idea. But anyway, the first issue kind of goes like this. Atomic Robo's called in by this government guy, who's like, we found this guy Helsingard, who we've been trying to track down forever, but we can't go there, because, if we put our troops into Europe, then we have, this whole war on our hands. This is, before World War II and all that jazz. Robo's like, go tell someone who cares. I ain't interested in this. Me and Tesla don't want nothing to do with this. And the guy kind of sweetens the deal by saying, if you do this, we'll give you, full legal American citizenship and, rights of a human being and stuff like that. So Robo's like, hey, that's not bad to have. And we all know how good that stuff is to have. So he goes in for the job. And it just goes from there. He shows up, kind of roughs up these guys, goes to where he needs to go, tries to figure out what's going on, because, when he shows up there's other things happening that he nor the viewer really expected, which is great, but, he doesn't resolve what he has to, which goes on, to the rest of these issues. But the thing I like the most about this book, Atomic Robo is just, he has style to him. He's not, a big lughead who's like, I gotta go in here, bash, and, I'm gonna kill this guy and break open this wall and pull this guy out and bring him back to the base. He kind of had, manners to him. He shows up and he's like, this guy is under arrest for being a threat to all humanity or something like that. It was really, really great. And he goes on this big list of all the things this guy did. And he's like, wow, even I don't know what this one was. And he's kind of just a well-mannered guy. The soldiers who he busts in on all want to shoot at him. He's like, that's not really a good idea. I'm built like a tank. What do you think is a stitch? Because it's this robot telling you he's built like a tank. So they fire at him, and he goes jerks, and just jumps over him and goes to do what he has to do. Kind of leaving out, anytime he has to kill somebody, doesn't really take advantage of it because he's a more well-mannered, well-behaved robot. Great story, great first issue. The art in it is great. I'm so glad. I know all of us on Variant Edition are big fans of Scott Wagner's work, and we're all really happy to see that he actually has work in, like, a series going on now, because it shows, man. Atomic Robo, the style of him, I can't see anybody else doing them besides you. It's great. The writing style was great. Brian Clevenger did a nice job on giving Robo that human touch. And Rhonda Pattison, her colors really accent what Wagner did with his pencils and inks. It's a really nice blend of the two styles that work really, really well. And it's just a great book. It's something outside of, like, superheroes and wars and all this other stuff. And you have this somewhat sophisticated, articulate archaeological robot who's sent out on different missions. What kind of mischief is he going to get into next? I don't know. All I know is there's another robot with a giant brain on top of him. So I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, Atomic Robo is in previews now, so you guys should all place an order and definitely check it out.
Alright guys, this week's bullet points, starting off with Punisher War Journal number 10. This wraps with the second major story arc where the Punisher was taking on the new hate monger and his racist group called the National Force, basically being aided by G.W. Bridge, a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, rescues him, saves the day, shuts down the plant. I'm still waiting for this book to get a little more nitty and gritty because that's the Punisher I'm used to in the Max title, so we'll see what happens with that. On to Ghost Rider 13. After the Hulk tie-in issue, Werewolf Hulk tie-in issue. This is pretty much just a basic catch-up of how many times, Johnny Blaze has killed the devil and all the bodies he's possessed, and there's also a subplot in there where two angels trying to make their way back into heaven. Now, how Ghost Rider fits into that plot, we have yet to see. So, on to the next book, Wolverine Origins, number 16. The supposed secret past of Logan and Cap. I'm really skeptical about this because now that I think they're just literally just making up stuff to make this more interesting and to, open up Logan's background. But I can try to trust Daniel Wayne's writing, and, it's interesting because it's like he was supposedly hired to kill Steve back in the day and steal his super soldier serum from him. So let's see where the storyline goes. I'm not sure. And speaking of Captain America number 29, Bucky tracks down Lucan, losing his mind slowly because the Red Skull is inhabited in his brain and his subconscious, so he's going nuts. And Tony Stark has been made aware of the traitor inside S.H.I.E.L.D. So everything's going to come to a screeching halt pretty soon, and I can't wait to see that happen. On to the next book, Quasar, Annihilation Conquest tie-in. Moondragon struck with a weird illness. Quasar has realized there's some kind of flaw in her negabands, which gives her superpower, and she's also being aided by a mysterious person who we have yet to see what's going to happen. I think I have an idea who it is, but I'll keep my tongue tied for now. And lastly, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, technically the last issue, number 23, because next month kicks off the milestone One More Day storyline with Straczynski and Quesada. So this book basically wraps up all the loose ends that were, kicked off in issue 1 Friendly Neighborhood and leaves some open, which I think they're going to, use later on in Amazing Spidey, since it's going to ship 3 times a month now. So there it is, guys, your bullet points for this week, and I'll see you next time.
So this week, I got you guys some bullet points here. I got some great books going out there. First one, of course, New X-Men. Why? Because I love the book. It's a great story. The art still suffering a little bit, getting a little better from the last one, but still, stop rushing that, whoever you are. I forgot your name. Anyway, Darkchild shows up and says, "Hey, Shaitan, time to go. You and me. Mono e demon o." And so he does, and stabs Pixie, actually. Bloodstone made from Pixie's soul, stabs him in the back with a blade, says a magic tome, Shaitan dies, Darkchild becomes the new Darkchild, who was Ileana Snowflake. Yeah, that's what we call her, Snowflake. Colossus's sister, yeah, well, she's Darkchild, kind of, but with her soul gone. It's weird, I don't know. But now, she is now Shaitan of the new Shaitan regime. Pick it up. It's weird. I don't know. Go with it. It's good. Ultimate X-Men, number 85. Dazzler. Her hands hurt because she does a big blast and kills off these little sentinel things, which are kind of like big sentinels, but much smaller, faster, quicker, better weaponry. Bishop's got white hair. Dreadlock's cool. Pick it up. Pyro, Mutant Liberation Front. What can I say about this book other than I don't know what's going on in it? Submariner coming out. Remember, Submariner may be dead because this is 5 days prior to when Submariner's corpse is found and the city of Atlantis is deserted. Anyway, he goes to the X-Mansion. Why? Because I need help. Xavier, you gotta help me. Well, why? Because I got these things, gotta take care of it. Track down these guys. Gotta help me. Cerebra, help me, please. And your plan went to hell. I'm not gonna dish you. I'm not gonna get you out of this one, Submariner. You go do it yourself, Namor. That's right. Take Wolverine with you, maybe. No, don't. Okay, fine. X-Factor. What's going on when you got Layla Miller, the girl who knows everything? She knows stuff. Remember, she knows stuff, and she gets hit in the face with a rock. You can't tell what's going on in this book anymore. If Layla Miller hits the ground, the world's going to end in X Factor because she knows everything. Somebody may be pregnant, maybe not be anymore. And Siren and Monet St. Croix, they're in the middle of a clay field, maybe? I don't know. Pick it up. Great book. Don't know where they're going with it. Omega Flight. Beta Ray Bill owns. If you like Thor, you like Beta Ray Bill. There's no reason not to pick up this book other than the fact that Sasquatch is in it. But that's okay, because he's possessed and this time kind of cool, and then he's not possessed and then loses his edginess, and then the guy who killed everybody back in the day is now the new defender of Canada. Okay, pick it up.
Do you hate Paul Anderson? Do you wish he was never born because he butchered such great characters like Alien, Predator, and nonetheless Alien vs. Predator? Well, worry no more. Not that he doesn't exist or that he's dead, just that Dark Horse Comics did really nice collections of the Aliens Omnibus, Predator Omnibus, and the Alien vs. Predator Omnibus. 400 pages of action-packed awesomeness that theater screens haven't seen in like the past 10-15 years. Alien Resurrection, terrible. AVP, terrible. Predator 2 was so long ago and it's got Danny Glover in it. These comics are great. They come from like right dead in the 80s when everything was all like, oh my god, we got these characters, and Hollywood wasn't so thirsty for money in sequels that they weren't pumping them out and destroying these great characters. But Dark Horse did something really good. They took these characters and said, hey, we're going to do the films justice, just, you know, in pen and ink. And they did such a good job. If you're a fan of Alien, Predator, Alien vs. Predator, or just like really badass sci-fi monsters in general, definitely pick up the omnibus of all three of them. Because, like I said, 400 pages of greatness. The Alien one, there's a lot of great stories in there. One of them, which is painted, I forget the artist's name, but the entire series of that one story is all beautifully painted. He did a lot of covers for the Dark Horse issues. Great stuff. The Alien vs. Predator one, I think, is my personal favorite because the first story that's in there is pretty much what Alien vs. Predator the movie should have been. It's actually the comic book adaptation of the book Alien vs. Predator Prey. If you saw our summer reading last year, I praised it. Well, now you can read it in comic form in the omnibus. And the Predator Omnibus is great. You don't have Dutch, but you got the next best thing. You got Dutch's brother, throwing out one-liners and insulting your mama and your uncle to no end. He don't care who you are, if you're Russian, if you're a cop, if you're just some bum. He's gonna find a way to insult you, 'cause that's how he rolls, and he don't take crap from predators. So anyway, if you're looking for some really good action-packed sci-fi adventure monster books, Alien, Predator, and Alien vs. Predator Omnibus from Dark Horse Comics, definitely pick them up.
So maybe, just maybe, you haven't paid any attention to what I've been saying for the last year. And maybe you're not listening to any of the hype online. Just maybe you're not reading Wizard. I don't know. Maybe you're just out of the loop. But I would hope not, because you're watching the show. Green Lantern, number 22. Probably one of the best comics out there right now as far as superhero comics goes, in my opinion. You've got Hal Jordan back from the dead for about a year now. Green Lantern Corps just kind of reinitializing itself. And what happens? But Sinestro Corps comes out. A whole yellow corps of evil, fear, hateful guys who just want to take down Oa and the Green Lantern Corps and everything they mean. And they're even going to attack Mogo. Mogo, for those of you who don't know, is a planet, who is the only Green Lantern planet, a sentient planet, if you will. Who, if he had a power, I believe power would say, Phoom! That's how awesome Mogo is. And of course, what are you going to do against a planet Green Lantern? But you got to get a planet Yellow Lantern. So that's what they do. At the same time, you got Superboy talking about how stupid Earth is, briefly, very briefly, just saying stupid Earth. And that's what he has in mind after the Green Lantern Corps goes down. And then on top of that, you've got the Anti-Monitor. Yeah, know your history. Infinite Crisis, check that out. Amazing. Crisis on Infinite Earths, even better. Pick those up. Amazing stuff is happening in this comic. What you have is Kyle Rayner, the Torchbearer, Ion, Green Lantern Corps poster boy, through and through, is now no longer Ion, but he is Parallax, a yellow sentient being made of nothing but fear, and he's leading the Yellow Lantern Corps, who've got their own battery power and their own planet of homeworld cord on the negative zone, whatever. It's just you got a really great story here. You've got if you haven't picked up the first 21 lead into this, you got to. I mean, there's no other options right now. You got Manhunters with Green Lantern batteries in their head. You got Yellow Lanterns running around. You got Green Lanterns running around. You've got the Lost Ring. The Lost Lanterns are back, and then Chance dies in this issue. Oh my god, just before anybody else could even learn who Chance is, let alone start to love the character, you kill him off. nobody's safe. You got Guy Gardner and Jon Stewart, who I don't like Jon Stewart or Guy Gardner, but they're locked up, and I'm kind of worried about them. And at the same time, you get this chick with this book of fear, and she says, you are in for a treat at the end of this. She says, I'm going to kill you, basically. At the same time, they're looking for Ion and trying to get back to the homeworld to save everybody on Oa from getting killed. This book is amazing. Pick up this book. I can't say that enough. Stress the fact that you need to go out and become a Green Lantern fan.
All right, Chronicles of Wormwood, issue number 6. You guys know that I've been reading this because you've been watching it. And it's been going really, really well, and from what I hear, this is kind of like the end of Chronicles of Wormwood for now. And if it is, they did a really good ending for a really good story. The way that they wrap it up, it's just, they're still in hell dealing with, oh, Satan's there trying to bring, Wormwood into the whole Armageddon thing because he's son of the devil and all that jazz. And God shows up, beating one away furiously. Doesn't really say anything except for, it's great. Great. Anyway, it's a bunch of crap with him trying to, double-cross his own son to try to get his own way, because, he's the devil. And the son of the devil is the only person who could pretty much outsmart his own father, because what son doesn't outsmart his own father? And he does in this, in a really good way, a nice twist and turn of the tables, really good ending, and both God and Satan get their comeuppance in the end. And even that guy, with his nose becoming a pee-pee, no more. But something just as devious happens to him. You gotta read the issue to find out. But like I said, if this is the end of the series, it's a really good end to a really good series. So if you haven't been reading it, definitely catch up to it, because it's really enjoyable for anybody who's out there who understands religion, but doesn't really fully accept it. You can take it with the lightest heart, and just enjoy the hell out of it. So yeah, Chronicles of Wormwood, thumbs up, good story, can't wait for the trade.
Alright guys, issue 5 of Nova, Annihilation Conquest tie-in issue. Now, despite the very grave, last couple pages of the last issue, Richard Rider is very much alive. And I use that in a very faint sense. He's barely alive after his little crash with the force field he went into at full force. So with that in mind, Kor-El, this little missionary Kree soldier who's been on this planet stranded for a while, assumes the mantle of Nova and was also given responsibility of protecting not only Richard, but the world mine. Because even though Richard is almost pretty much, toasted bacon right now, it's pretty what he looks like, he's still a very vital part of reinstating the Nova Corps. So the World Mind wants to keep Richard alive, and it's because of Richard's new power, his body's actually slowly regenerating itself. So he's not dead, and I don't think he will be dead anytime soon. Script work is great. Abnett and Lanning really know how to write this character and make him really likable for everybody, and I love it because they just took this, random space character who's kind of like a Green Lantern knockoff when you think about it, but really has made him into his own, and has made him very likable for new guys like me. If you like Kyle Rayner, you're gonna like, Richard Rider, right off the bat. And the artwork in this book, Sean Chen, he's literally, almost in his own right a legend at Marvel. He is technically the Iron Man of Marvel. If you guys know out there know what I'm saying, if you're a Sean Chen fan, you know what's up. So anyway, the book's going in a great direction, story-wise, art-wise. There's a big twist at the end with Richard Rider you're going to have to read to find out, but everything's looking really good. I can't support this book enough, and if you're not reading this or, any of the other Conquest books, you could stick to this one and then go on to the mini, but I highly recommend this book. It's a lot of fun to read, and can't wait to see where it goes.
Alright, that's it for Variant Edition, but before we go, we have to thank Chris from England. He saw our sponsor link, and now he's being mentioned on the show. And he got himself a t-shirt.
Remember, Variant Edition is made possible through viewers like Chris.
Check out variantedition.com for details. Look for the Sponsor Us link.
And remember, there are quite a few ways to watch us: iTunes, Vio, YouTube, and Google Video. And don't forget our new high-res feed from Blip TV. Or just go to the source, variantedition.com, and watch us from our page.
That's it for Variant Edition. See you next time.
The other one did a much better take.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I'm just saying, that one was just...
Alright,